Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my spoiler-free review of Thor Love and Thunder. But if you want to hear all the spoilers and that discussion tonight, 9 p.m. UK time, that's British summertime, British Isles time, Boris Johnson has resigned time, along with 50 other useless bints. Then join me over at Drinkers Open Bar, where we'll be going through all of that with Disbrew, Mauler, I think it's a Gundam, some other people as well. So first of all, Az, did you like it? My response to that would be, this is a film I will likely never watch again. It's kind of frustrating, this string of Marvel movies, because this film has a lot of problems, and a lot of problems that have one name, and that's Taika Waititi. His insufferable brand of humor completely derailed this movie, in my opinion, which is frustrating because they did have a couple of interesting ideas for it. They didn't take them particularly anywhere, and any time that they were touched upon, Taika Waititi had to destroy the moment, destroy the tone with some puerile jokes, some childish humor. And there are certain jokes which are, I say jokes, I use them very loosely. What was kind of interesting is when the film started in the cinema, people started laughing initially at the gags, you know, they were kind of like, you know, whatever. But then as the film went on, that seemed to dissipate. And the laughs got fewer and fewer, and it kind of became a very sterile process from about a third of the way through to the end. And there are some gags which are just overused. I mean, how many times are the goats screaming going to be your go-to funny to break the moment? In terms of the cast, you've got an excellent cast with this film. You know, Chris Hemsworth is a good actor. I think he's a very good actor. You've got Christian Bale. You've got Natalie Portman, who's won herself an Oscar. You know, things like Black Swan, I thought was excellent. Then you have Russell Crowe in the role of Zeus in this, you know, another Oscar winner. So you got all these Oscar winners, and yes, I know Oscars lovey and all that sort of stuff, but you have all these amazing actors, and you just don't draw out their potential because you're too busy being a clown. And again, I'm referring back to Taika Waititi, just back to being an absolute clown with the script and the tone of the film. And Christian Bale, I want to discuss him first, because when Christian Bale's on the screen, I'm focused, because not only is he a great actor, but his performance is excellent, and he is anti-distinctly minty, criminally misused and underused in this film, which is so frustrating, because when he is on screen, he's either portraying an emotion which draws you in, or he's being exceedingly malevolent and creepy, and it's a good performance. It's a shame he's barely there, and it's a shame that his story isn't really explored. You know, we hear of these gods being killed, and we hear that Gore is doing them. However, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it in action. It's tell, don't show. So the moments that we do get where he's all creepy, it's like, oh, give me more. No, you get denied by that. You get denied by that because the film is more interested in doing stupid jokes, which again, some of them feel as if it's ad-libbing and it just doesn't go anywhere. The joke wears itself out really quickly indeed. And I just got to the point where I was watching the movie and I'm just so removed from it. I was so out. I wasn't focused. I was just thinking about tonight, thinking about my brother coming tomorrow, thinking about I need to do the dishes still, thinking about I need to get a part of Jedi Fallen Order for my members out. That's all I was thinking about, because the film was doing nothing to keep me entertained. And Natalie Portman's fine in this, and she's, you know, we have the cancer Thor Jane. This isn't a spoiler. And again, that storyline, that thread isn't really explored. It's touched upon, and then it's touched upon at another point, but that's pretty much it. And filling the gap in between was just this nonsense. Tessa Thompson, there's no point in her being in the film. She brings nothing to the role of Valkyrie whatsoever. Kang Valkyrie, she's not heavily dialogued in this. I hate to go here, but you know, Taika's banging her. He's got a girlfriend, and Tessa is joining in with their little charade. It's completely unprofessional that it was out in the open for all to see, and it just feels as if she's got her job through this almost nepotism-like element. She doesn't enhance the film. There's no reason for a character to be there whatsoever. And so you have her and Taika Waititi's stone man character, whatever. And again, those are two characters that could be used with just vanishing, and therefore you could have spent much more time exploring the relationship between Thor and Jane Foster and why certain elements happen, like why she was chosen to be the mighty Thor. This is something which isn't explained in the film. There is a couple of lines, literally a couple of lines, which briefly go over this, but it doesn't make a lick of sense, and therefore that story really needed to be explored as to why. And they could have done it to a point where Mjolnir chose Jane because Mjolnir knew that Thor was loveless and needed her back in his life. They were an entity. They were a unit together, whatever. Something along that kind of lines, but it just wasn't particularly explored or explained in any depth whatsoever. The storyline was as superficial as you like because they don't go into these themes. So it does devolve once again into what I would really class as a segment of scenes, because the story doesn't particularly evolve from the first meeting between Thor and Gore. And so we have, like I said, we just have this film which plods along with inane comedy, inverted commas, with a lack of character development, with stupidity. And there's a line in the film which really kind of stood out for me because of how daft it was. We see how, when we go to Zeus's place, we see how selfish the gods are. When Gore becomes Gore, we see how selfish the gods are. But particularly when we're at Zeus's place, when there is Thor and Valkyrie, but more importantly, Jane Foster there, and she sees exactly what the gods are really like. When she has when she's involved in a fight with Gore, she says to Gore, "You're killing innocent gods." And I just thought to myself, you've literally just spent a segment of the movie showing how these gods are selfish and self-centered and don't give a toss about mortals or the plight of the people who worship them and all this sort of business. And then the person who's killing these selfish beings, you call them innocent gods? It's so bizarre. But you see, if they'd actually decided to explore the story with Gore and the gods and the god killing That would have been much more interesting. It would have given much more weight to when Thor had to go up, or the Thor squared had to go up against this god, because Thor is technically a god, or, you know, demigod, or whatever you want to say. So he would be in line to be destroyed by Gore. So performance-wise, you know, Chris Hemsworth is good for what he does. Natalie Portman's good for what she does. There's you know, a few cameos from Thor's previous cast just to, you know, tick that along. But again, what could have been an important scene in the film was, again, the character was treated like a joke. And so it held no weight, it had no emotional impact or anything. And that was the theme throughout the movie. No emotional impact, no weight, no gravitas. I didn't care, because it was so tonally polar, flipping on the poles all the time. 1 minute we're north and it's trying to say something. Within seconds, whoop, we're in south and we got goats screaming and, you know, some stupid line from some people, and it just ruined everything. Just took you out of every single moment. And so, yeah, I saw the film. So what? You know, it's not one I'm going to buy. It's not one that I'm going to see again. It literally felt like content. Well, somebody said that as well. There you go. It just sort of slipped out. Yeah, it just felt like content. It just felt like, here's something until the next thing. And when you've got Chris Hemsworth, when you've got Christian Bale, when you've got Russell Crowe, when you have Natalie Portman, when you have these people, it's so frustrating how they are underutilized to be the butt of a joke. So there we go, folks. If you want me to get into, like I said, you want to hear me get into all the spoilers and all of that gubbins, join me tonight, 9 p.m. UK time, over on the Critical Drinkers channel. But if you're on the fence about this one, you just wait till it goes on to Disney Plus or whatever, or your mate buys it on Blu-ray and you go around and watch it. But you're not missing out if you don't go see it. I don't think it's going to enhance anybody's filmography or life. So until the next video, take care. Bye for now.